Udja Seneb. Welcome back. It's me, El Sofos Jose Alfredo Ra. And this video is going to be touching on the topic of this book, right? The Kabbalah, Magic, and Angels. The Kabbalah Magic, right? And Angels by Magine Gonzalez Whippler. So, this book is pretty awesome actually. I'm almost completely done with this book. So what I like to do is I like to just highlight the chapters as they go through. I've had this book for, I want to say, almost a year. And I'm currently up to, I just finished chapter 15, which was the 7 Great Archangels. But this is a book that basically gives you an introduction into the Kabbalah, right? Jewish mysticism, and how they associate the angels, specifically the archangels, right? With different spheres of the tree of life. Now, so what we have here is in chapter 1 we have who are the angels, so it breaks down the angels. Chapter 2 will go into the creation story. Chapter 3 talks about the nature of the creator. Chapter 4 will tell you, and God created man in his own image. So basically giving you some understanding of how the creator created mankind, right? Number 5 will talk about the tree of life and the 10 spheres, right? Number 6 talks about world matters. Number 7 talks about God and geometry, because as we know, sacred geometry is like in every aspect of this reality that we live in. Then we have chapter 8 with time and space. Chapter 9 talks about the different angelic realms. Chapter 10 talks about the power of 10. Chapter 11 talks about the heavenly hierarchy. So the hierarchy within the angels, archangels, and then as they continue, like principalities, and so on and so forth. Chapter 12 will talk about the 10 celestial choirs. So, you know, like the seraphim, the cherubim, archangels, what I kind of just mentioned right now. Chapter 13 talks about the quote-unquote fallen angels, right? Chapter 14 will talk about doing the magic. This will basically talk about getting into it, tapping into that energy, right? Chapter 15 will talk about the 7 great archangels, but we know that there are an abundance of archangels, right? We're not limited to just like the 7 or the 9, but for the most part there are some that are just like mentioned more in religious or spiritual texts and, you know, books on those topics. Chapter 16, which is the chapter that I'll be going into today, is on angel magic. So that I'll be using the magic with those specific archangels. So yeah, so today is Saturday, right? It is May 6th, right? On the Gregorian calendar. So let's get a little info for you. We know that Saturday, right, is governed, ruled, or the energy is influenced heavily by Saturn, right? The plane. The archangel of today is Archangel Casio, right? Or Cassiel, depending on how you pronounce that. Okay, so here we go. So on page 184, it mentions Cassiel. Cassiel rules the 7th heaven, Araboth, the 3rd sphere of the tree of life called Binah, and Saturn. Cassiel is the angel of solitudes and fears, who shows forth the unity of the eternal kingdom. He sometimes exchanges places with Zadkiel, a female entity, and as we know, source, divinity, angelic realm, celestial beings. They are pretty much free from gender. They can take on any form. So if they want to take on a more divine masculine form, they can. A more feminine form, divine feminine form, they can. But you know how they do it. Sometimes they associate certain energies with a more masculine side or feminine side. Vice versa. They could be whatever they want. Okay, so back to it. He sometimes exchanges places with Zakiel, a female entity whose name means contemplation of God, and who is assigned to Binah, right, which is the third sphere of the Tree of Life, and the Shekinah. Both angels are associated with Saturn and Saturday. But among the planetary angels, Cassio is the angel ascribed to both Saturn and Saturday. Cassio's Kabbalistic number is 3. His color is black. His ascribed date is Saturday at 1 a.m., 8 a.m., 3 p.m., and 10 p.m. Now those 4 time frames, 1 a.m., 8 a.m., 3 p.m., and 10 p.m. are noted to be the 4 hours of the archangels on every day of the week. Cassio rules time, right? Pretty much, because Saturn rules time. Wisdom, death, suffering, agriculture, inheritances, real estate, building, constructions, plumbers, secrets, and the unconscious. He rules the zodiac sign of Capricorn. You hear the siren? And Aquarius. Now, the reason he rules Capricorn and Aquarius is because modern astrologers now acknowledge Uranus, right, being present. But in ancient times, there were only the 5 planes, the 5 planets, with the 2 luminaries, the sun and the moon. So because of that, modern astrologers assign Uranus, right, or Uranus, to Aquarius, but Uranus was unknown in ancient times. Saturn was a planet assigned to both Capricorn and Aquarius. That's why, right, like Priestess Aset Ra Amen says, Aquarius' ancient ruler is Saturn. And we, as per me, and some other people, we like to keep it that way. You know? I like the original foundation of things. But again, I understand sometimes we gotta move forward with progressing. Therefore, in planetary and angelic magic, right, Saturn and Cassio are ascribed to Aquarius as well as Capricorn. The illnesses ruled by Cassio are leprosy, eczema, gout, arthrosclerosis, panic attacks, depression, chronic colds, and illnesses associated with the skin, the knees, and the bones. His flowers, so these are flowers that you can use if you're creating a ritual or you have an altar set up for Cassio. Flowers and plants are violets, belladonna, ebony, tamarind, pomegranates, the cypress tree, and opium. The incense that you can use would be myrrh and patchouli. The animals that are ruled over by Cassio, right, are the peacock, the donkey, the goose, the goat, and the bat. His stones are obsidian, hematite, ebony, jet, onyx, basalt, silicone, tourmaline, shigalite, white quartz, aquamarine, and garnet. His metal is lead. So, that is some of the attributes, right? Those are some of the attributes. Those are some of the ingredients or items that you can use when you're going to start invoking the energy of Cassio, the Archangel. So, I definitely say, before you do any rituals, before you invocate, right? Before you try to summon any celestial force, any demonic force, any spiritual force, you truly make sure that you have done your research. You make sure that you have received some guidance from someone who has more experience in that realm, you know? Because you don't want to open up some shit that you can't handle. So yeah, so this was Saturday's Archangel of the Kabbalah, and I will see you on another day, most likely tomorrow, Sunday, and we can discuss the Archangel of the Kabbalah of Sunday. So, I'm Udja Seneb, Long life, prosperity, good health. Amen to you all.